Okay, hi everyone. We have this question. Does a company need to pay CPF on allowances? And this is actually quite important because we realize that quite a lot of clients they are relatively unsure on whether CPF needs to be paid on certain categorization of payments to employees. Okay, when I talk about employees, these are individuals who are contracted to the company. So that means that they have an employment contract. They are working, in lay person's term, right? They come to the office on a regular basis. They have working hours. They're not like, they're not hired for a certain like a certain. They're not a contractor to the company, but they're employees of the company. Okay, so when we deal with employees, right, as the company deals with employees, there are certain allowances that attract CPF contributions, and one of them, which quite a lot of clients they are unsure of, right, is fixed monthly allowances like monthly transport or meal allowance. So, if let's say I'm the employer, let's say I'm the director of the company, and I hire somebody, maybe that person might be maybe my maybe I'm running a IT company, then I get my employees to travel to on site to help my clients to troubleshoot. Then they have to travel out on a monthly basis. Then I say that okay, on monthly, right, transport allowance is $100 and meal allowances is $50. So every month without fail, right, let's say that basic salary is let's say $4,000, then but on top of this $4,000, every month they will get a monthly transport allowance of $100. Then every month they will get monthly meal allowance of $50. So the question is whether the CPF contribution is on the 4,000 or on the $4,150, which includes the monthly transport and monthly meal allowances. But the fact of the matter is, right, uh, it should it should also be CPF contribution should also be paid on this monthly transport and meal allowance, because it doesn't make sense. If let's say the company wants to lower its CPF burden, that means the amount of CPF that it contributes to the employee salary, then simply put, you can just say that the monthly transport allowance is a larger amount, and then after that they will have to just the company will just have to pay less CPF. So it doesn't make sense. So on the monthly allowance portion, right, if let's say every month the the employee is getting that monthly transport and meal allowance, then it forms part of his or her salary, and that should attract CPF contribution. So if you're a company and then you're paying basic salary plus a certain fixed monthly transport and fixed monthly meal allowance, then that monthly transport and monthly meal allowance also will attract CPF. So that means the company has to pay CPF on those allowances. Another thing is that for shift or overtime allowance, right? So if let's say there's shift work, then if let's say the employee works at night, then they get a shift allowance. Then these also attract CPF contributions. And then if there's overtime allowances, right, like maybe if the employee works overtime a certain number of hours, then they are paid a certain amount of money, right? Then those also attract those allowances also attract CPF contributions. Then finally, right, cash incentives as well. So if let's say the employee does well, and then in financial sector you see this quite a lot. So if let's say there's a 13 or 14 month, or let's say 2 month bonus, 1 month bonus, 3 month bonus, or however many month bonus, then those bonuses, right, will also attract CPF contribution. The company paying out those bonuses, right, will also have to pay CPF on those bonuses. Of course, there's always a cap as to how much CPF the company can pay in 1 month, but that is for another topic. So and then if the employee, right, has commission, so like maybe the employee earns a certain commission by his fixed salary plus commission, right? So this commission also will have to attract CPF contribution. So what allowances are exempt from CPF contribution? So like reimbursement of expenses. For example, the employee goes and meets a client, and then he or she has a meal with the client. Then maybe it's $100 meal, and then comes back with the receipt, and then gives it to the company. Then the company reimburses the employee this $100. Then this reimbursement of expenses is exempt from CPF contribution. So if the employee also like books a Grab or books a taxi, right? This is where the confusion stems from. So if the employee books a Grab, books a taxi, and then comes back to the company and then claims the cost of that taxi or that private hire, maybe it's like maybe $50. Then in this case, right, the reimbursement of expenses is exempt from CPF contribution. So if it's a one-off payment, okay, I have a typo here. If it's a one-off payment, then like for example, maybe it's a token gift, maybe long service award, then maybe get $1,000. Then this is exempt from CPF contributions. And then if it's genuine ex gratia payment, so that means payout is a voluntary gift. It's not tied to work performance. Then these are such allowances are also exempt from CPF contributions. Okay, so the consideration, right, is the classification of matter. So if the allowance is regular and part of the employee's remuneration package, right, then CPF contributions are typically required. For example, if there's an agreement in the employment contract saying that this is your basic salary, and then you have X amount of dollars for meals and X amount of dollars for transport every month, then that is a regular allowance, and that should form part of the employee's remuneration package, and therefore CPF contributions are required to be paid on these allowances. Okay, secondly, right, for with regards to reimbursement of expenses, there must be reimbursement proof. The employee can't come back and say I seek reimbursement of maybe $100 for a meal with the client, and then there is no reimbursement proof. Then in this case, right, yeah, you must substantiate that this is a reimbursement so that you can avoid CPF contribution. Then when you pay the employee the money for the meal, right, then you need to show IRAS or you need to show CPF board that, hey, this is actually a reimbursement. I'm not paying him as part of an allowance. Okay, and then there are some allowances, right, have some special treatment. Just to take note, you need to check specific rules. So if you're not very sure, right, then you look for a good accounting firm that knows their stuff. So for our clients, if you're not too clear as to whether certain allowances have special treatment under any CPF rules, then you can always look for us. If you have any queries, you can look for us at hello@rafflescorporateservices.com. Then our websites are singaporesecretaryservices.com or rafflescorporateservices.com. And that's all from me. I'll see you at the next video.